John, finally! I've been trying to reach you all night. Where were you? What happened?
Oh, hey, babe, sorry. I had my phone on silent. I must have missed your calls.
That's not like you, John. And why didn't you call me back? I was worried sick.
I know, I should have called. It's just that I was at Millie's place yesterday and things got a bit intense. She needed a lot of help.
What were you doing there exactly?
Well, I have already told you. Your sister said she wasn't feeling well and she just needed someone there. We just talked about some stuff, that's all.
Some stuff? John, you're not telling me everything. I can sense it. Did something happen between you two? Did you have a fight or something? I mean, what would you and my sister talk about?
Valentina, it's not like that. We just had a heart to heart talk and she needed someone to listen to her. You know how she can get sometimes.
Yeah, I do, but it still doesn't explain why you didn't answer my calls or call me back. I thought something terrible had happened.
Valentina, come on. You know me better than that. I just got caught up in the moment. And I'm sorry for not keeping in touch. I was there for your family. I did that for you too.
Okay, fine. But it still feels weird, you being at her place all night. I thought we shared everything.
We do, babe, and this doesn't mean anything has changed between us. Listen, I'm tired. I gotta go to work.
Okay, John, can we talk about it in person when I'm back?
Of course. I would love to talk and sort things out. I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah, okay. Love you. My name is Valentina, and I'm just your typical office worker. I was engaged to this amazing guy named John, a real catch, if I may say so myself. He worked as a marketer at one of those fancy restaurant chains, and boy, did he make some serious cash. My sister Millie, she's always been the stunning one. She's got those drop dead gorgeous looks and a personality that just draws people in, and believe me, she's always been all about appearances and had this big dream of becoming a model. Can't blame her though. With looks like her, it's like she was born to strut down runaways. But let's get back to John and me. It all started in the most unexpected way. We were strangers who met at a book club, and I didn't think much about it, but one day, out of the blue, he confessed his feelings to me after we finished our lunch. I didn't see that coming. After all, we started going out. We were really happy together. John had this way of making even the most mundane things feel like an adventure. Time flew by like crazy, and before I knew it, it had been a year of pure bliss. That's when John decided to take things up a notch. He proposed to me, and my heart could have burst with joy. I enthusiastically said yes without even a moment of hesitation. So there we were, ready to share the big news with my family. We headed straight to their house, knowing they would be over the moon to hear about our engagement. And we were right. As soon as we spilled the beans, their faces lit up with joy. They hugged us tightly, and I could feel the warmth of their love enveloping us both. However, I couldn't help but notice Millie's reaction. I knew that she had always been a bit competitive with me. She had been single for a while at that point, after having been cheated on her by her rich ex boyfriend, and here I was engaged to a successful and handsome guy like John. As the news sunk in, her smile began to fade, replaced by a look of shock and maybe even a hint of envy. I could tell she was not happy at all, and that bothered me. I mean, this was a time for celebration, and all I wanted was her support and happiness. But Millie had this way of being subtly disapproving without outright saying it. She was a master of passive aggressiveness, and I could sense the tension building up. She kept glancing at John, sizing him up, and I could almost hear her mind churning with judgment. Then, out of the blue, she came up with this excuse to get John's contact information. Pretending it was for some friendly reason, she asked him if they could exchange details. You can call me paranoid at this point, but I swear I could see her through her act. Millie had a habit of undermining my relationships, and I wasn't about to let her create unnecessary drama. But being the person John was, he didn't think much of it and casually exchanged numbers with her. I knew he was just trying to be polite, not realizing the tension that had been simmering between Millie and me for years. As the day went on, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. It was like a cloud hanging over what was supposed to be a joyous occasion. Life had a funny way of taking unexpected turns, and this turn was one that none of us saw coming. While I was away on a workation with my company, Millie decided to execute a plan that would change everything. She played it smart, pretending to be sick and needing some company while I was out of town. Innocent enough, right? But she had more than just family bonding in mind. Taking advantage of my absence, Millie lured John to her house. I don't know exactly what she said or did, but she must have put on quite the act. John, being the kind and caring person he was, fell right into her trap. Perhaps he thought he was doing the right thing by comforting my supposedly ailing sister. He texted me to say that he was heading over to Millie's to help her out, and then after that, he just disappeared. I couldn't reach him on the phone until the next morning. As soon as he woke up, I called him. Something in his voice told me that he was trying to hide a secret from me. John, finally! I've been trying to reach you all night. Where were you? What happened?
Oh, hey, babe, sorry. I had my phone on silent. I must have missed your calls.
That's not like you, John. And why didn't you call me back? I was worried sick.
I know, I should have called. It's just that I was at Millie's place yesterday and things got a bit intense. She needed a lot of help.
What were you doing there exactly?
Well, I have already told you. Your sister said she wasn't feeling well and she just needed someone there. We just talked about some stuff, that's all.
Some stuff? John, you're not telling me everything. I can sense it. Did something happen between you two? Did you have a fight or something? I mean, what would you and my sister talk about?
Valentina, it's not like that. We just had a heart-to-heart talk and she needed someone to listen to her. You know how she can get sometimes.
Yeah, I do, but it still doesn't explain why you didn't answer my calls or call me back. I thought something terrible had happened.
Valentina, come on. You know me better than that. I just got caught up in the moment. And I'm sorry for not keeping in touch. I was there for your family. I did that for you too.
Okay, fine. But it still feels weird, you being at her place all night. I thought we shared everything.
We do, babe, and this doesn't mean anything has changed between us. Listen, I'm tired. I gotta go to work.
Okay, John, can we talk about it in person when I'm back?
Of course. I would love to talk and sort things out. I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah, okay. Love you. The phone call ends, leaving me still doubtful and uncertain about what exactly happened between John and Millie. I know there's something he's not telling me. It turned out that I was right. My gut feeling was unfortunately on point. That was the last conversation we had had as a couple. The days after that, John started to respond to my text less and less. He wouldn't pick up the phone when I called, and I didn't know why. 2 weeks later, as soon as I was back from my trip, I received a text from Millie, of all things, breaking the news. It was a picture of her lying on top of John on our couch. I was blindsided, heartbroken, and furious all at once. I couldn't believe what I was reading. The person I trusted the most had betrayed me, and the sister I thought I knew so well had played a deceitful game. Hey sis, listen, something has changed. Turns out that the one John truly connects with is me. I've packed all of your belongings and sent them back to your place so I can move into John's. I know you'll understand. You always do. Love ya, XOXO. Can you believe it? The man I was about to marry, the one who had proposed to me with so much love and happiness, was now holding my sister like he used to hold me? I rushed back home as soon as I could, trying to confront John and make sense of the situation, but it was too late. The damage was already done, and he had made up his mind. When he opened the door and saw my face, he was ice cold. I had never seen him that way before.
What are you doing here, Valentina?
We need to talk, John. You just can't end things like this.
There's nothing left to talk about. I made my decision and I don't want to discuss it anymore.
John, what happened between us? We were happy and then suddenly you're confessing feelings for Millie, my sister?
Look, Valentina, things change. Feelings change. I can't deny what I feel any longer. She's someone I can't resist. A woman as beautiful and charming as her, I just can't help it.
Are you serious? You're throwing away what we had just because you're attracted to her looks?
It's not just about her looks, okay? She's so soft and charming, unlike you, and now she needs me, and I won't turn my back on her.
I was always there for you, John. We were planning our future together, and now you're telling me it meant nothing?
It's not that simple, Valentina. I can't be with someone who doesn't understand me.
You can't just throw away everything we had for this, not for my sister. You two are sick.
You need to accept it and move on. This is my decision, and nothing you say can change it.
You're disgusting, both of you.
I don't want to hear from you anymore. Now please, just leave. I need to be alone.
Fine, if that's what you want. And just like that, he ended our relationship. I felt like my whole world had crumbled in an instant. The pain and betrayal were overwhelming. How could this happen? I thought we had something real, something unbreakable, and yet here I was, left picking up the pieces of my broken heart. Millie, on the other hand, seemed almost smug about the whole thing. She got what she wanted, John, and it felt like she had won some twisted competition that I didn't even know we were in. She kept texting in the family group chat about this new guy that she fell in love with, knowing fully well that would just break my heart even more. My parents didn't know who the guy was because she wasn't showing any of his face, so they were so happy for her. I was devastated. And just a month later, Millie and John announced that they were getting married. It felt like a knife twisting in my heart. Millie even dared to tell me that she wanted me at their wedding reception as if it were some sort of consolation prize. The thought of attending their celebration was too much to bear. But Millie didn't stop there. She was bragging with everyone about how successful her new fiancé was, that she could quit her job and never work again. My mental health was deteriorating, and I had to quit my job. I shut myself in my room, not wanting to face the world, or anyone for that matter. I couldn't stop thinking about how my life had taken such an unexpected and painful turn. My parents were worried sick about me, and they apologized profusely for Millie's actions. They couldn't believe she would be so callous and insensitive now that they found out who her groom was. But amidst the darkness and despair, a tiny glimmer of hope began to flicker within me. I knew I couldn't stay in that suffocating environment any longer. I needed to find a way to heal and move forward with my life. Determination set in, and I made a decision. I was going to leave home, start fresh in a new place with a peaceful environment, and find happiness on my own terms. It wasn't an easy decision to make, leaving behind the comfort of my family and familiar surroundings, but I knew it was necessary for my well-being. I couldn't let this heartbreak define my future. With the support of my parents, I began to plan my escape to a new chapter of my life. I researched different cities and towns, and after careful consideration, I finally found a place that felt like the perfect escape, a small town nestled between lush greenery and rolling hills. It seemed like a place where I could find peace and rediscover myself. Saying goodbye to my parents was bittersweet, but they understood my need for space and healing. With their love and blessings, I set off on my journey to a new beginning. As I settled into my new surroundings, I felt a sense of liberation. Life in the small town had its way of surprising me. I found a job at a cozy little restaurant, and it turned out to be perfect fit for me. The manager, Philip, was kind, understanding, and had a genuine passion for his work. As days turned into weeks, we grew closer, and our friendship blossomed into something more. One day, with a hint of nervousness in his eyes, Philip confessed his feelings to me. I couldn't help but feel a bit hesitant at first, my heart still bearing the scars of past betrayal. But as I got to know Philip better, I realized that he too had been through a similar experience of heartbreak in the past. His vulnerability and sincerity struck a chord with me, and I saw a glimpse of hope for a new beginning. Eventually, I took a leap of faith and accepted Philip's love. It wasn't easy, but I knew that I couldn't let fear dictate my life forever. Sometimes we have to open our hearts again, risking pain, to find the happiness we truly deserve. Philip and I began dating, and he became my rock, my support system, and my source of happiness. We shared moments of laughter, support, and growth, and the joy he brought into my life was immeasurable. I decided to visit my parents after some time, eager to share the happiness that had found its way back into my heart. Their faces lit up as they saw the sparkle in my eyes, the same sparkle that had dimmed for a while. They were overjoyed to see me happy again, and their warm embrace felt like a comforting reminder that I was never alone. But then, they had to break the news to me. During the months that I was away, Millie and John had finally finalized planning their fancy wedding, and I was invited. I hesitated and then agreed to come. With Philip by my side, I was ready to face my past. Attending Millie's wedding as Philip's girlfriend was a bold move, but I wanted to show that I had moved on and found happiness. Surprising both Millie and John was an understatement. Their jaws practically hit the floor when they saw me walk in on Philip's arm. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. For some reason, John was extra nice to me and Philip that day, addressing Philip by his surname. As the wedding day unfolded, I finally asked Philip what was going on. That was when I discovered that Philip was more than just a manager at my restaurant. He was the heir to the whole chain with multiple locations across the country. And believe it or not, John was working for the very company Philip will soon own. Talk about a twist of fate. Philip knew my past, so I could see the anger and disgust in his eyes every time John came around. In the next few days, Philip made some calls. He got John fired in a blink of an eye. To add salt to the wound, John and Millie couldn't pay off the debt from their lavish wedding. All those grand plans they had, their dreams of a fairy tale marriage, came crashing down around them. It was tough to watch, but I knew they had brought this on themselves. Millie, who was so keen on material wealth and appearances, was now facing the consequences of her choices. She was determined to get an annulment now that John was broke, but it seemed like the universe had other plans for her. Even my parents, who had been so blinded by Millie's charm in the past, finally saw her for who she was. They refused to support her any longer for her terrible behaviors. The truth about Millie's manipulative way had come to light, and it was a painful awakening for everyone. Nobody wanted to help or befriend her anymore. She had to struggle to make ends meet. As time went on, Philip and I continued to build our lives together. With his inheritance, we had the means to travel, explore, and create memories that would last a lifetime. But more importantly, we shared a deep bond of love, trust, and respect that made our relationship stronger with each passing day. Together, we ran the restaurant chain smoothly and became the power couple everyone was dreaming of. Looking back on my journey, I realized that sometimes the most painful experiences could lead us to our greatest blessings. It wasn't an easy road, but it brought me to a place of strength, resilience, and love that was truly worth fighting for. You know what? I'm out of here and I'm taking the cat. Where's the cat, Vincent?
I don't know, and I don't care. Just get out of our house. Here's your stupid cat. Be an unmarried old lady with only a cat that could ever love her.
You've heard him. We're over. Hi, I'm Alice, and I've always believed that life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. As they say, it's like trying to predict a cat's next move. It's a real challenge, just like what happened to me and my husband, Vincent. It all started when I woke up one morning with excitement bubbling inside me. It was our anniversary. Vincent and I had been through so much together, and I couldn't wait to celebrate this special day. I spent the whole week planning a surprise dinner at the park, the very place where we first met. I knew he would love it. The park had always held a special place in our hearts. It was where our love story began, where we shared our first picnic under the shade of a big oak tree, laughing and talking for hours. I wanted to recreate that magical moment, so I arranged for a cozy setup with fairy lights draped around the tree, illuminating the night with a soft glow. A picnic blanket with scattered rose petals would mark our spot, and I had packed our favorite dishes from our early days together. I arranged the setup with the final touches, but as hours ticked by and my anticipation grew, my husband Vincent was nowhere to be found. Hey, maybe he's planning a surprise for me too. I tried to reassure myself, but deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Finally, after what I felt like an eternity of waiting, I decided to call him. Hey, Vinny, where are you? I thought we were meeting at the park.
Oh, hey, Alice. I got caught up with some work stuff. I'm really sorry, babe.
Work stuff? On our anniversary? My heart sank a little, but I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, but please hurry. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. Walking around the park alone, I couldn't help but recall all the memories we had created in this very spot, the laughter, the love, and the promises we made to each other. Vincent and I met here by chance, looking for a break from the hectic pace of life. I had just moved into the neighborhood and I didn't know anyone. Feeling a bit lonely, I decided to take a walk in the park, and that's when I saw him. He was sitting alone on a bench, looking lost in thought. Our eyes met, and there was an instant connection. I mustered up the courage to approach him, and we struck up a conversation. We spent the entire afternoon talking about our dreams, our favorite books, and our shared love for adventure. As the sun set on that beautiful day, Vincent and I knew we had found something special in each other. From that day forward, the park became our haven, a place where we could escape from the world and be ourselves. Right now, seeing that Vincent is still nowhere to be found, I don't think I'll be able to recreate it for us. I started to worry because ever since he heard the news that his ex-wife had moved back to our town, Vincent had been acting a bit strange. He seemed distant and on edge, and I couldn't help but wonder if it is the reason he isn't here with me today. But I quickly shook my head, dismissing the idea. Vincent would never do that. He swore he would never be like his father, who had cheated on his mother and broken her heart. I trusted him completely. I hope everything's okay. As I roamed the park, my eyes scanned the area, searching for any signs of him. Instead, I noticed a stray cat following me with curious eyes. I smiled and bent down to pet it gently. Hey there, little one, are you lost too? With a heavy heart, I sat down on the bench, still waiting for Vincent. The cat settled beside me as if offering some kind of comfort. Thanks, Furball. It was getting too dark and my hope began to fade away. Tears welled up in my eyes and I knew I couldn't just sit there any longer. He's not coming. Deciding to head home, I began walking. I realized that the stray cat was following closely behind me. It was as if the little creature sensed my emotion and wanted to offer some comfort. As I made my way back home, the stray cat remained by my side, a silent companion in my time of need. Well, at least I have you. I was grateful for the cat's company, even though my heart still ached from the disappointment of a missed anniversary celebration. It still wouldn't leave our porch, so I just decided to adopt the cat. You're too cute to ignore. I gently scooped it up and headed to the bathroom for a much needed bath. With the cat now cleaned up, I couldn't help but feel a growing attachment to it. In the back of my mind, I remembered the collar left behind by our previous cat who had sadly passed away a few months ago. It felt like fate that the collar was still there, waiting for a new furry friend to wear it. I carefully fastened the collar around the cat's neck. There, now you're part of the family, Snowy. The next morning, I woke up to a commotion at the door. Vincent hurriedly stepped inside, his hair and clothes all messed up as if he had been rushing and didn't want to be caught.
Hey, Alice.
He was out of breath. Why was he running? Perhaps he really wanted to jump on his bed and take a well-deserved rest? Vinny, you're home early. I was surprised to see him at this hour. I assumed he must have had a busy night at work, but I didn't want to pry.
Yeah, there was a sudden change in the schedule. I just needed to take care of something.
He replied, avoiding eye contact. I didn't get to read it too much because as he spoke, I noticed Snowy was feeling under the weather. He was throwing up and I felt concerned. Oh no! Snowy doesn't look so good. This is the stray cat I adopted. He was waiting with me at the park yesterday.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that park thing. I'll just take him to the vet instead since I don't have work today. It's a way of me making up to you for the missing anniversary dinner yesterday.
I don't like dwelling on the past and getting angry about it because I feel like it's a waste of energy since you can't change what happened anyway. So I nodded to his offer gratefully. Vincent carefully picked up Snowy and headed to the vet clinic. As he left, I couldn't help but feel a pang of worry for both the cat and Vincent. I hoped everything was okay and that the vet would be able to help Snowy feel better. While Vincent and Snowy were away, I took the opportunity to tidy up the house and get some work done. As the hours passed and Vincent and Snowy still hadn't returned from the vet, I began to grow increasingly worried. The house was too quiet without them, and my mind raced with thoughts of what might be taking so long. Unable to bear the uncertainty any longer, I decided to check up on them. Grabbing my phone, I called Vincent, but he didn't answer. Maybe he's still busy at the vet? I tried to reassure myself, but of course, the nagging feeling still remained. Then, a memory flashed through my mind. Our previous cat Whiskers had a pet tracker on his collar, and since Snowy, the stray cat we adopted, is now wearing it, I could track his location as well. I checked it and the tracker signaled a place that was definitely not a vet clinic. My heart started to pound in my chest. I remembered how tired Vincent had looked earlier and a thought crossed my mind. What if he accidentally let the cat out of his eyes and Snowy had run away? Or perhaps Snowy didn't want to be confined to home and longed to roam the streets again. I followed the tracker's signal, my hand trembling as I navigated through the unfamiliar streets. It led me to a house I had never been to before. Is this Snowy's real owner? With each step bringing me closer to the house in front of me, my mind was clouded with worry about what I was about to witness. As I peered through the window, my breath caught in my throat. There he was, my husband Vincent. But what shattered me the most was the sight of his ex-wife Bea standing right beside him with their lips locked in a passionate kiss. My world came crashing down. The betrayal was too much to bear, and I felt like I was being torn apart inside. A surge of anger replaced my initial shock, and I couldn't stand there silently anymore. My emotions overflowed, and I knocked loudly on the door. My voice was shaking, but determined. "Vincent, Bea, open up!" I shouted, even though I'm pretty sure their neighbors could hear me. I didn't mind the embarrassment because I just couldn't hide my frustration any longer. A few seconds later, the door swung open, revealing both Vincent and Bea looking stunned. The guilt was written all over their faces as they saw me standing there, tears streaming down my cheeks.
Alice, I can explain.
I cut him off by slapping him hard on the face. His face shifted from guilt to anger. "Explain? What's there to explain? I trusted you, Vincent. I believed in us. I even gave you the benefit of the doubt when you didn't come to the anniversary dinner I prepared for you yesterday. You threw it all away, and for what? For her?" Bea tried to interject, but her mere presence simply fueled my anger. I didn't let her speak. "And you knew he was married, yet you got involved with him. You both should be ashamed of yourselves." As I stood there, the aftermath of my confrontation with Vincent and Bea unfolding, I knew there was no turning back. "You know what? I'm out of here, and I'm taking the cat. Where's the cat, Vincent?" He glared at me, still fuming with anger from the slap. He didn't answer my questions, so I asked again because I wanted to be out of there as soon as possible. "Where is he, Vincent? Tell me now."
I don't know, and I don't care. Just get out of our house.
I called for the cat, hoping to find Snowy and take him away from this volatile situation. But Vincent's anger didn't waver, and he showed no concern for the innocent animal he had brought into this mess. As Snowy came out from his hiding place, he is still looking weak and fragile. It is obvious Vincent didn't even bother to take it to the vet and just went straight to his infidelity. Vincent harshly grabbed Snowy and in a fit of rage kicked the poor cat towards me. My heart sank as I saw how heartlessly he treated an innocent creature who had done nothing wrong.
"Here's your stupid cat. Be an unmarried old lady with only a cat that could ever love her."
The cruel words cut deep, but I refused to let him see how much they hurt. My focus was on Snowy, who had now retreated to a corner, frightened by the outburst. Vincent's disregard for the cat's well-being shocked me, but what happened next left me horrified. Snowy lashed out in fear, biting Vincent's leg. Vincent responded with even more brutality. He squeezed and pulled the struggling cat tightly away from his leg. His anger was blinding him to the harm he was causing to Snowy. I rushed to intervene, trying to pry Vincent's grip away from Snowy, but it was too late. The distressed cat's claw found their target, and I watched in horror as Snowy leaped into Vincent's face, scratching his eyeball. The pain was evident in his cries, and he finally released the cat. I scooped up Snowy into my arms, holding him close, tears streaming down my face. "You've hurt him. We're over." As I held Snowy close, I knew that our fate was sealed. My marriage was irreparably broken, and Vincent's action had revealed a side of him that I could never forget. With Snowy still in my arms, I walked away from the chaos and pain, leaving Vincent behind. I took Snowy to the vet immediately to get the care he needed. The poor cat was frightened and in pain, but I vowed to be there for him, just as he had been there for me in the park last night. Days passed and I learned the truth about Bea. She too was married, but she chose to work through the issues with her husband instead of continuing the affair with Vincent, leaving my ex-husband all alone. News about Vincent's eyes also reached me through mutual acquaintances. The damage caused by Snowy's scratch was severe, and his eyesight never fully recovered. I couldn't help but feel some sympathy for his condition, but I also knew that it was a consequence of his own actions. Now he literally and figuratively can't see his ex-wife or even other women. In the aftermath of the incident with Snowy, I was determined to hold Vincent accountable for his cruelty towards the innocent animal. With the help of witnesses and the concerned neighbors who had seen the confrontation, I pursued legal action against him for animal cruelty. As I focused on taking care of Snowy and healing his wounds, I realized that he wasn't the only one who needed care and healing. I needed to take care of myself too, to find the strength to move on and rebuild my life without Vincent dragging me down. So I made the difficult decision to divorce Vincent. In the end, Vincent's karma came back to bite him, quite literally. The consequences of his action left him in the dark, unable to see the error of his ways. I like to think Snowy gave me one of his 9 lives, as he gave me a new start in life. Thank you, Snowy. I am Vivian, and I met the love of my life on the cruise. My family was prominent in the banking and finance field, and I supervised one of the biggest banks in the country. At the very young age of 26, I was able to climb my way to the top of the pedestal and secure my career. Many people say that my skills in accounting and finance are in it since my parents are in the same realm as well. I just love my job so much that I was able to earn bigger compared to people my age, especially my batchmates. I am so lucky that I was able to land a job immediately. Also, I was lucky because I found the perfect man for me. It was a fine day on the cruise. It was our first day when I saw my future husband, Renz. He was quite sophisticated and lost at the same time. He kept on asking the staff where to go and what to do with his things. I was with my friends celebrating my birthday when I was smitten by him. Later that night, we met at the bar, and it is where our destinies started to align. We talked for hours. He told me that he went on the cruise because he wanted to unwind due to family problems. During that night, we talked for hours and we got this instant connection. Aside from exchanging glances and sweet talks, we also exchanged social media and even contact numbers. The entire cruise experience was perfect because I get to meet him, and little did I know that it is the start of our fun adventure. We met several times after the cruise. We bond and date often, and sometimes we would just sit in the parking lot talking nonsense. I came to know him even more from his career as a teacher down to his family. Surprisingly, he is an only child and is very devoted to his family. However, he also rants to me about most of his problems concerning his family, and with that I grew to sympathize and empathize with him even more. We became a couple after 3 months of getting to know each other. I introduced him to my parents and they adore him. They welcomed him as part of the family. However, Renz never got the chance to introduce me to his family while we were still dating because they live in the province. I always wanted to meet them and to know them because I don't want my perception towards them to be clouded with Renz's rants about them to me. But I'm not saying that I'm invalidating his feelings, but I just want to understand them as well. But we never had the chance to meet each other, and I only have little information about them. That is why whenever my father would ask me about his background, I couldn't answer him right away because even I don't know what to say. He kept it a secret to me, and maybe it's just his personality, laid back and mysterious, and he's a very private person. Nonetheless, our relationship was so smooth and healthy. Maybe there were just times that we went into arguments because I was so suspicious of his actions. He would talk to someone on the phone almost every night, and he said that it was just his mom, and he gets annoyed every time I insisted that I wanted to see her. On top of that, he always went back home every once in a month, and he won't ever tell me details of his homecoming. I just wanted to feel like I'm a part of his life and I'm not just some kind of a prop, but I trust him so much. And every time we argued, we immediately fixed it. And also, sometimes he would ask for money from me. He said that his salary was delayed and that his family needs it. So without hesitation, I lent him money. He kept on saying that he will pay it back, but didn't. However, I paid it no mind because I wanted to help. And with that, after a year of dating, he proposed to me on the same cruise ship where we met. It was a very romantic night and I felt the love. I said yes to his proposal and it was the best day ever. I love him so much and he meant the world to me. So after a month, we finally said our vows and were officially wed. I told him that we should have a long engagement because I want us to travel first, but he insisted on getting married immediately. And he was right, it was the best decision because the love was blooming and ever present. The celebration was very intimate. The guests were just my family members and his mother, Flor, and it was the first time I met his mother. We spent our honeymoon on another cruise ship. My life at that moment was perfect, my career was thriving, and my heart is genuinely happy. But little did I know that beneath the surface of my seemingly happy marriage, a web of deceit and treachery was being woven. The events that unfolded in my life were like something out of a suspenseful drama. After our honeymoon, we moved to our own home immediately, and I was surprised when my husband told me that his mother was going to live with us. Of course, I was excited because I will get to spend time with her at last, but at the same time, I was wondering if we could have our own private space together where we could function as a couple. Nonetheless, I was so happy to welcome his mother Fleur to our humble abode. I accommodated her and treated her just like my own mother, and she was also caring towards me. We had a beautiful relationship. Most of the time, I pay for the groceries and bills because I have the upper hand when it comes to the salary grade, but I don't compare it to my husband because I know that he was working hard as well. Nevertheless, we are still a loving family. One day, a drastic shift in our family dynamics because I started to notice something. Because shortly after we were comfortable with each living under the same roof, he dropped a bombshell on me. He had a half sister named Sandra from his mother's side and he wanted her to come live with us. He told me that it was always been the cause of their family problems, his mother's daughter. He was concerned about the status of his sister, that's why he wanted her to live with us. So I agreed. Again. But I was so suspicious, it feels like something was not right and my husband was only lying to me all this time. From then on, I had a nagging feeling that my husband, his mother Flor, and my sister-in-law Sandra were concealing something from me. It started innocently enough when Renz claimed to be an only child while we were dating, and now he has a half-sister? Although I had reservations, I empathized with Renz's desire to reconnect with his newfound sibling, and just like what I have said, I welcomed Sandra into our home, hoping that our bond as sisters-in-law would grow strong. And it did. Sandra proved to be helpful and kind, assisting with household chores and effortlessly blending into our lives. But as time went on, I couldn't ignore the unusual dynamics within our family. The closeness between Ren, Sandra, and Fleur was unnerving considering they had only recently discovered each other's existence. Ren was so close to Sandra for only 1 month. I mean, there is nothing wrong about that, but based on their body language, it seems like their relationship was more intimate, and it seems like they have already known each other for so long. I don't want to put crazy and unbelievable conclusions in my head because maybe I was being delusional, but my instincts tell me that they have something going on. Because they would engage in secretive conversations, share knowing glances, and exclude me from important household decisions. And take note, Fleur, my mother-in-law grew distant towards me. She would ask for money from me but talk to Sandra regarding household decisions. On top of that, while I was busy with work, the three of them would go out or travel together without even asking me to join them. They also went home to their province while leaving me behind. It felt as if they were a united front against me, leaving me isolated and filled with suspicion. One fateful day, Flora's love for classical music played right into my hands. As she played the tunes on the speaker, I couldn't have predicted what would come next. The haunting melody shifted and a recording began to play. The voices of Renz and Sandra exchanging vows, pledging their eternal love for one another. I knew all too well that it was their voices.
Sandra, my love, from the moment I first laid eyes on you, I knew you were the missing piece of my soul. Today I stand before you, pledging my eternal love and devotion.
Renz, my beloved, you have filled my life with joy and happiness. I vow to cherish and support you in every moment, through thick and thin, for the rest of our lives.
Tears streamed down my face as the vows continue, each word a stab to my heart.
I promise to love you unconditionally, to be your rock, and to protect you from harm. You are my one true love, now and forever.
And I vow to be your partner in every sense, to stand by your side through all life's challenges. Together we will create a future filled with love and laughter.
My hands trembled as I tried to comprehend the magnitude of the betrayal. The realization hits me like a ton of bricks. How could they do this to me? They had been carrying an illicit affair right under my nose, disguised as a sibling relationship. I feel so betrayed. My entire body began to shake. I am having an anxiety attack and I couldn't comprehend what they are saying. I heard Fleur immediately turn the speaker, but it was too late. I already heard everything loud and clear. I also heard Renz and Sandra come rushing to the living room when I heard everything. They found me standing there with no expression at all. I fished out my phone and started to record our confrontation. What is this? Renz, Sandra, what is the meaning of this recording?
Vivian, I can explain. It's not what you think.
Vivian, please, let us explain. We never meant to hurt you.
Explain? How could you possibly explain this? You've been lying to me all along. Confronted with the undeniable evidence, the room fell into a tense silence. I demanded answers, desperate to understand the depth of their betrayal.
Vivian, I'm so sorry. Sandra isn't Renz's half-sister. She's his wife. They have a daughter together.
I could feel my knees almost collapsing. This is not true. His wife? How could you do this to me, Renz? We're married. We took vows.
I just used you for money, Vivian. You were interested in me first in the cruise, and by the looks of it, you were rich. So I did what I had to do. It was all about providing for our daughter. I thought marrying you would secure a better future for all of us.
My voice started to shake, and my body is getting weaker. A better future at the expense of my trust, my love, and my happiness? This is beyond betrayal, Renz. It's unforgivable. I walked out of the house and drove my car away from that hellhole. Overwhelmed by grief, anger, and betrayal, I knew I had to take action. I called 911, desperate for support and guidance in this unimaginable situation. As the authorities arrived, I discreetly began recording our confrontation on my phone. I needed undeniable proof of their deception to bring them to justice and protect myself from further harm. With the recording in my possession, I carefully devised a plan for revenge. I enlisted the help of a trusted friend who happened to be a skilled hacker. Together, we uncovered a multitude of evidence, financial transactions, and clandestine messages that exposed Renz and Sandra's deceitful relationship. Knowing that my husband's illicit affair had significant legal implications, I consulted with a skilled attorney. Armed with the evidence we had gathered, we plotted a strategic course of action to ensure their downfall. We planned to reveal their secret marriage, the deception, and their motives to the world. As the truth unraveled, I executed my plan flawlessly. I organized a gathering, inviting friends, family, and even influential members of our subdivision. I projected the incriminating evidence for all to see, shocking them with the deceit that had festered beneath our seemingly happy facade. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I have something important to share with all of you. The room fell into stunned silence as the evidence played out, confirming the heinous acts committed against me. Gasps of disbelief echoed through the room, and I could see the fear and shame etched on Renza's and Sandra's face. Without uttering a word, I stood tall, empowering the knowledge that their malicious plot had been exposed. I delivered a poignant speech, denouncing their treachery and the pain they had caused. The crowd, moved by my strength and resilience, rallied behind me in support. Today I stand before you as a survivor, a testament to the indomitable spirit that lies within each of us. I refuse to let your deception define me. From this moment forward, I reclaim my power, my dignity, and my life. News of their actions spread like wildfire, reaching far beyond our community. The exposure of their deceit became a cautionary tale, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences that awaited those who sought to manipulate and deceive others. In the aftermath, I emerged from the chaos with a newfound sense of self-worth and an unwavering determination to protect myself from the future harm. Renz and Sandra faced legal repercussions, their reputations tarnished beyond repair. As for me, I rebuilt my life surrounded by a support system that understood the depth of my pain and celebrated my resilience. I channeled my experiences into advocating for victims of deceit and betrayal, using my voice to raise awareness and fight for justice. The revenge I sought was not only successful in exposing their malicious intentions, but also provided me with closure and the strength to reclaim my life. I vowed never to let anyone undermine my happiness or manipulate my trust again, emerging from the darkness stronger and wiser than ever before. In the aftermath of their exposure, the legal consequences for Renz and Sandra were severe. The truth they had tried so desperately to conceal had become a public spectacle, resulting in criminal charges and a lengthy legal battle. Their lives crumbled under the weight of their deceit, leaving them isolated and scorned by society. As their trial commenced, I stood tall as a witness, ready to testify against the individuals who had shattered my trust and violated the sanctity of our marriage. The courtroom was filled with tense energy as the prosecution presented the evidence we had meticulously gathered. The recordings, financial transactions, and incriminating messages laid bare the full extent of their betrayal. I watched as the truth unfolded before the eyes of the judge and jury. Renz and Sandra's attempts to deny their actions were feeble and futile in the face of overwhelming evidence. They crumbled under the weight of their lies, unable to refute the facts laid out before them. The verdict was delivered with a resounding affirmation of their guilt. Renz and Sandra were found guilty of fraud, conspiracy, and emotional abuse, among other charges. The courtroom erupted in a mix of relief and satisfaction as justice was served. The judge, recognizing the severity of their crimes, handed down a sentence that would ensure they paid for their actions. They were sentenced to significant prison terms, effectively ending their reign of deception. While the legal battle brought closure and a sense of justice, it did little to mend the emotional scars they had inflicted upon me. I sought solace in therapy, turning to professional support to help navigate the complex web of emotions that had consumed me throughout this ordeal. It was a long and challenging journey, but with time I began to heal. The experience transformed me in profound ways. I emerged from the darkness with a renewed sense of self-worth and an unwavering belief in my resilience, surrounded myself with genuine caring individuals who restored my faith in love and trust. Together, we created a strong support system that nurtured and empowered me as I rebuilt my life. Inspired by my journey, I dedicated myself to helping others who had experienced similar betrayals. I became an advocate for victims of deceit and emotional abuse, using my voice and personal story to raise awareness and provide support. I partnered with organizations, joined support groups, and shared my experiences to let others know they were not alone. In the wake of their downfall, the truth served as a powerful catalyst for change in my life. I seized the opportunity to redefine my priorities and pursue my passions wholeheartedly. I embarked on new career endeavors, seizing the chance to explore my potential and forge a path based on my desires and ambitions. As time went on, the scars from that dark chapter began to fade, replaced by resilience and an unshakable belief in my strength. The revenge I sought was not merely about inflicting pain upon those who had wronged me, it was about reclaiming my power and refusing to be a victim. Ultimately, I emerged from this harrowing experience as a survivor, a testament to the indomitable spirit that lies within each of us. The successful revenge I had sought was not one of vengeance and destruction, but rather of personal growth, resilience, and the unwavering commitment to honor my worth.
Hey, Lauren, I'm really busy at work right now. Can this wait?
Justin, our daughter is sick and it's serious. We're in the hospital and I need you here with us. Ever since she woke up, she's been looking for you and wanting to talk to you.
I already told you I'm at work. I can't drop everything for this. You'll have to handle it on your own. Tell Jane to stop being a whiny baby. It's probably nothing serious anyway. She just wanted your attention like the attention seeker child she is.
My name is Lauren, 34, and let me take you back to the day when a seemingly ordinary request set off a chain of events that left my family with more than just emotional wounds. It all began on a typical day, where the demands of motherhood consumed my time and energy. As the designated caretaker, I found myself juggling between taking care of our little daughter named Jane and a myriad of household tasks. As usual, I had to do all the chores myself, like cleaning the house, doing laundry and ironing clothes, decluttering spaces, managing household budgets, and more, ensuring that everything ran smoothly. Amidst the responsibilities, my daughter Jane came up to me with her innocent eyes and soft voice. Her little face was flushed.
Mommy, I'm so hungry. Can I have something to eat? Something light, please?
I didn't want to leave Jane unattended, but I just can't cater to her request right now. I have so many things to accomplish alone for this day. I glanced towards my husband Justin, hoping he could step in and lend a helping hand. But to my dismay, he was frantically rushing towards the door, already focused on some urgent tasks that awaited him outside. Typical. He is always like this, even during the days when he has ample free time. He's usually oblivious to the exhaustion and sweat dripping down my face from doing everything in the house. He would always seem content to recline on the couch and drink beer. I wonder if the thought of helping me even for the simplest of tasks even ever crossed his mind. Probably not. Feeling torn between attending to my daughter and the mounting tasks off my to-do list, I took a deep breath and tried to stall. Hold on a second, sweetheart. I'll be right there with something delicious for you, okay? Minutes later, Jane, looking even more unwell, came up to me again.
Mommy, my tummy is rumbling. Can I have something to eat now, please?
I realized the urgency of the situation and I had to call out to Justin. Hey, Justin, can you please help prepare some food for Jane before you go? She needs something light to eat.
Man, I have to go somewhere else now and I'm already late. That's supposed to be your job. Are you being lazy again?
Just this time, Justin, grab one of the canned goods in the pantry. Don't grab any of the cans in the plastic bag, okay? Those are expired. Just throw it away while you're at it. Just moments earlier, I went through my regular checking of food in our fridge. I was looking out for leftovers that have gone bad, or products that may be past their expiration dates. Because, as you know, life would get so busy that you don't have time to throw things out immediately or update the shopping list.
Yeah, the plastic bag, got it. You really have to manage your time better next time, so you don't have to waste any of mine.
So Justin then hurriedly prepared the canned goods for Jane, and our daughter was finally silenced as she sat down to eat the meal. I couldn't help but feel a sense of appreciation for Justin's efforts because he gave time for our daughter despite his busy schedule with whatever he has business with. It was such a rare occurrence for him to help. Thank you, dear. I appreciate your help. Take care and have fun while you're out.
Whatever, you owe me one.
Then he's out the door. An hour later, Jane's face was contorted in discomfort. She clutched her stomach, a look of pain in her eyes. I rushed to her side and cradled her in my arms, my heart sinking as I realized that something was terribly wrong. What's wrong, sweetheart? Are you okay? You look unwell. Before my child could even answer, Jane started vomiting uncontrollably. Her symptoms intensified and her condition deteriorated rapidly. I knew right then that she requires immediate medical attention. There's only so much I can do to treat my child with this severity. Her complexion went pale despite my best efforts to keep her hydrated. After all that vomit, she began to feel weaker and dizzier. Unable to stand or even sit up without support, my child fainted in my arms. Time seemed to slow down as I rushed out of the house, praying we would reach the hospital in time. The journey to the hospital felt like an eternity. Upon arrival at the hospital, medical professionals swiftly took over, providing the immediate care Jane desperately needed. They assessed her vital signs, administered fluids, and conducted various tests to stabilize her condition, and it did, thank goodness. When the immediate danger seemed to have passed, the questions from the medical staff lingered in the air. One of the nurses approached me. "Hello, are you the mother of the child?" "Hi, yes, I am. Can you recall what was the last thing Jane ate before she fell ill?" My mind raced as I tried to remember. It was a simple question, but in that moment my memory seemed to be clouded by fear and chaos of it all. "Oh, it was just a canned good." "Oh, no." "Why? What is it, ma'am?" "My husband, Justin, he was rushing and I asked him to prepare. Oh my God, he must have misheard my instructions and served our child the expired canned goods that I told him to discard. We need to inform the doctors about this information." "Yes, please let them know there was a misunderstanding with me and my husband." The nurse assured me that they would address the matter promptly and reiterated that my focus should remain on supporting Jane's recovery. But I can't help to be riddled with guilt. Was it my fault? I told him not to do that clearly. Am I a bad mother? Jane suddenly woke up and she was no longer suffering. "Mommy, how are you feeling, sweetheart? Do you feel better now? I'm sorry about what happened." "Mommy, where's Daddy? I need him." "He's at work, sweetie. Just go take a rest and recover well first, okay?" "But I want Daddy. Can I talk to him, please? Please, Mommy." I can't just turn down her request. She just went through something bad, and I had my fair share of the blame. I'm still feeling very guilty about what happened, and I would have to at least try to comfort her to the best of my ability. "All right, sweetie, I'll try calling Daddy, okay? Hold on." I reached for my phone and dialed Justin's number. Aside from Jane's insistence, I actually also needed my husband's support and reassurance since I worried too much for our daughter's health. Finally, Justin's voice came through, but instead of the comfort I sought, I met with an unexpected coldness and disrespect.
"Hey, Lauren, I'm really busy at work right now. Can't this wait?"
Justin, our daughter is sick and it's serious. We're in the hospital. I need you here with us. Ever since she woke up, she's been looking for you and wanting to talk to you.
I already told you, I'm at work. I can't drop everything like this. You'll have to handle it on your own. Tell Jane to stop being a whiny baby. It's probably nothing serious anyway. She just wanted your attention like that tender, sick or child she is.
He dropped the call and I felt an overwhelming sadness. How could he say that about his own daughter who just wanted to hear his voice? In that moment, I made a silent promise to myself and my daughter that I would be her rock, her pillar of strength, even if it meant standing alone. I'm sorry, honey, but Daddy's busy right now. You can talk to him once we get home and he arrives from work, okay? I can see my child's face dropped. As a parent, it's such a heartbreaking sight. While waiting, I turned my head towards the television mounted on the wall, momentarily distracted from the heated exchange I had with my husband. And there he was, Justin, appearing on the television screen, displaying the live broadcast of a basketball game. Amidst the cheering crowd, the camera panned to the infamous kiss cam. Justin, my husband, was kissing a woman I had never seen before. The weight of his betrayal hit me with full force. Anger and sadness intertwined within me, creating a storm of emotion that threatened to consume me. I began tearing up as I fumbled to dial Justin's number again, needing answers, needing him to explain his actions. With each ring, my heart pounded. Finally, Justin answered with his voice laced with irritation.
Christ, woman, what do you want? Didn't I tell you I don't have any free time for your dramas right now? Why can't your bird brain understand that?
How was the kiss cam, liar? I saw you on TV kissing another woman while our daughter lies in the hospital bed asking where you are and wanting to hear your voice, and you even lied to me, your wife. Of course, Justin's immediate reaction was of denial, trying to craft excuses and lies to protect himself.
What? Who are you talking about? I'm just here for business matters. You wouldn't understand.
If you're going to lie, at least make an effort to make it believable. When you come home, we're over, Justin. I can't do this anymore. You've broken our trust, our family. You're a terrible father and husband. It's time for me to protect myself and my daughter from further heartache. We don't deserve this. Justin, seeing the severity of the situation, attempted to rush through his words, hoping to mitigate the damage. But his attempts fell on deaf ears. The decision had been made, and I knew from that moment of betrayal that it was time to prioritize my own well-being and that of my daughter. Justin hurriedly made his way through the bustling basketball stadium, attempting to escape the situation, but it only led to further embarrassment and humiliation. In his haste, Justin's grip on the drinks he held tightened, causing them to slip from his hands. The liquid splattered across the girl he had been kissing a few minutes earlier, drenching her in a cascade of embarrassment. The crowd erupted into a mixture of laughter and gasps, intensifying the awkwardness of the moment. That will surely lessen his chances of getting on with the girl because of what he caused. Undeterred by the mishap, Justin pressed on, his focus solely on reaching the exit. His eyes darted around, searching for a path through the maze of people. But as he rushed towards the door, he failed to notice the uneven step on the staircase. As he descended, his foot caught on the protruding edge, causing him to lose his balance. In a split second, his body tumbled forward, crashing down the stairs. The impact resonated throughout the arena, drawing the attention of those nearby. Groans of sympathy mingled with murmurs of shock as Justin lay on the ground, bruised and battered. Blood trickled from a cut on his lip. I found that accident very fitting as a physical manifestation of the pain he had inflicted from his lies to me and his daughter, and to kissing someone else. I saw everything as I had been watching the events unfold on the television screen. Seeing Justin's downfall both figuratively and literally was a bittersweet moment. Part of me wished for his redemption, for a change of heart, and a desire to make amends, but deep down I knew that the wounds ran too deep for a simple stumble to repair the damage he had caused. As the stadium staff rushed to Justin's aid, I turned my attention away from the television and shifted it towards my phone. I sought another momentary distraction from the chain of painful events that had just unfolded. I was mindlessly scrolling through my social media feed until I encountered this. The internet, notorious for its merciless nature, had swiftly caught wind of Justin's embarrassing fall. Within minutes, funny video edits and memes had flooded social media platforms, turning his misfortune into fodder for laughter.
LOL, that guy's stumble down the stairs was like a slam dunk fail. Should have checked the scoreboard for the number of falls he's had this season.
That dude, fall was the real halftime show. We don't know we need it. Move over, cheerleaders. We've got a new star. The crowd went wild for that man's unexpected floor routine. I didn't know the stadium had added gymnastics to the lineup. My phone also buzzed incessantly with incoming messages. Concerned friends and family who had witnessed Justin's infidelity on the kiss cam expressed their shock, disappointment, and anger. Heartbroken for you and Jane. Justin's disrespect is unforgivable. We stand with you. I can't believe what I just saw. You and Jane deserves better than this. We are here for you always. Justin crossed a line today. We won't tolerate such behavior. Count us out of his life. Well, Justin's life is all downhill from there. While Justin grappled with the repercussions of his actions, I took the brave step of filing for divorce. I found strength in the unwavering support of my friends and family. With their guidance, I navigated the legal intricacies of the divorce, ensuring that Jane's needs were prioritized at every step. Justin was stripped of the respect and support from his friends and family and was left with shattered relationships and the public humiliation that continues to haunt him until this day. He thought he could dribble through life without consequences, but just found himself stuck in his own foul play. Justin, like in the game, what goes around comes around. It's nothing but a slam dunk of truth. Wait a minute, you're the one from that video. What? What video? I have no idea what you're talking about. If this is a prank, just go away. I'm not in the mood for it. Oh, come on. The video of you changing your clothes in the bathroom. It's been making the rounds online. Everyone's been talking about it now. Wow, you still got it, Grandma. Hello. I'm Emma, and let me share with you about the time I miraculously dodged a bullet thanks to my mother-in-law Linda inadvertently catching it with her own actions and decisions. It was during our latest family trip. We would often have these outings that became a treasured tradition in our family since they served as a reminder to reconnect and bridge the gaps that naturally formed due to our busy, separate lives. While we weren't as close-knit as some families, these trips offered a chance to create memories together, strengthen our bonds, and foster a sense of unity. But truth be told, my husband Joshua and I weren't exactly jumping with excitement. You see, spending time with Joshua's mother Linda wasn't always the most joyous of experiences. She had a knack for finding ways to dampen the mood to get things her way, which made the idea of family bonding slightly daunting. Guess what, everyone? It's almost time for our family trip. Her eyes sparkled with excitement, but Joshua and I exchanged knowing glances, unable to hide our mixed feelings. We were subtly showing signs that weren't as eager to partake in it anymore, but my mother-in-law seemed to be determined in upholding the tradition. The tradition continues.
You know, Mom, I've always suspected that your mom purposefully created this tradition just to annoy us every now and then.
We chuckled at Joshua's joke, but there was a hint of truth behind his words. The family outings had become a peculiar blend of joy, frustration, and undeniable entertainment. As we sat down to discuss our plans, I couldn't help but express my concerns to Joshua. I know we should be excited about the trip, but you know how Linda can be. I hope this time she'll act differently, but I can't help feeling a bit wary.
I know, Emma. We have had our fair share of challenging moments with her, but perhaps this trip can be an opportunity for us to create some positive memories together. Let's go into it with an open mind and try to make the best of it, okay?
But before we could embark on our grand adventure, there was a crucial task at hand: finding the perfect accommodation for us. The decision to have separate accommodation from my mother in law was not only to ensure personal space, but also to provide a buffer for our own sanity. We hoped that having our own room would allow us to recharge, regroup, and indulge in our own interests without feeling suffocated. Hours turned to days as we scoured numerous websites, diligently searching for the ideal Airbnb. Our requirements were clear: a place that complements the tranquility of the coastal settings and offers breathtaking views and modern amenities. Finally, amidst our meticulous research, we stumbled upon a gem: Sunset Serenity. Josh, I think I found the ideal place for us on our family trip. It's called Sunset Haven, and it looks absolutely incredible. You won't believe the stunning photos.
Show me.
We huddled together and checked the Airbnb listing. It was kind of pricey, but with everything it can offer, it seemed to be reasonably priced. With our hearts set on Sunset Haven, we eagerly made the book, secure in the knowledge that this accommodation would be the perfect background for our family adventure. As days ticked by, our conversations were filled with dreams of sandcastles, delicious seafood feasts, and laughter shared beneath the night sky. Finally, the day of our departure arrived. The car was packed to the brim with suitcases and beach gear. As we stepped foot into the carefully selected and stunning Airbnb, my mother-in-law Linda accompanied us and looked around the place. Wow, what a stunning place! Excellent choice! I know, right? Joshua and I spent days finding the perfect place, and here it is. Yeah, you know what, dear? I think I'll be staying here instead. It's just too appealing to resist. Her tone was carrying an air of entitlement as usual. Joshua and I were surprised and caught off guard by Linda's sudden declaration.
Mom, I don't understand. You have your own booking. Why would you want to take ours? What about your own room?
Well, dear, this place is much more suited for me. Look how luxurious it is. You two can manage with the other one. Now hurry along.
But Linda, we specifically chose our B&B because it suited our preferences. We were really looking forward to staying here.
Mom, can we stick to our original arrangements? Emma booked this Airbnb for us. It wouldn't be fair to change plans now.
Joshua, I thought we are a family. I thought you cared about your mother's comfort. I'm just feeling weak and fragile these days, and I need somewhere comfortable to rest.
There it is, her talent of emotionally manipulating her own son.
And after everything I've done for you since you were little, Joshua, can't you do this one thing for your dear old mother? How could you sleep at night knowing that you refused your mother's wishes?
It was a tactic Linda had employed countless times before, appealing to his sympathy and making him question his choices.
Alright, fine, Mother. I guess we can stay in the room you originally booked, just this one time, okay? Then no more.
We didn't want to rock the boat or spoil the atmosphere because it was impossible to win against her, and we know we will just be wasting our breath if we try to fight it. So we reluctantly agreed to vacate our Airbnb and relocate to Linda's original room. As we entered the room, a wave of disappointment washed over us. It was clear that Linda had intentionally chosen a less than comfortable option, knowing full well that she would be forcing us to vacate it later. The room was crammed with dated furniture and musty odor that permeated the air. The bed sagged in the middle, and the worn out mattresses offered little support. The bathroom was small and outdated, with a leaky faucet and a shower that barely produced a trickle of water. It's so different from the Airbnb we had initially booked, and the realization sank in that we were in for an uncomfortable stay. I'm not going to lie, I think my mother booked this room just to inconvenience us. This might be the worst reviewed room there is in the app.
You think? I wouldn't put it past her. She's always found ways to assert control and make everything about herself. We spent the first night tossing and turning on the lumpy mattress, the springs creaking with every movement. We already knew that the lack of good sleep will take its toll and leave us groggy and irritable the next morning. Throughout our stay, we encountered numerous inconveniences. The unreliable Wi-Fi connection made it challenging to stay connected with the outside world, and the constant noise from neighboring rooms disrupted any chance of peace and quiet. Little did we know that our uncomfortable compromises would soon pale in comparison to the challenges my mother-in-law is yet to experience. The morning after the unexpected room switcheroo, we were determined to make the most out of our family vacation. The day unfolded like a picture-perfect postcard, with laughter echoing along the shore, sand between our toes, and the gentle caress of ocean waves. As we soaked in the joy of the moment, Linda decided to quench her thirst at a beachside kiosk. However, her excitement turned to mortification as her card was declined. I'll have the pineapple mango smoothie, and make it quick.
That will be $5.95. Sorry, ma'am, but it's been declined.
Linda's face flushed with embarrassment as nearby beachgoers turned their heads towards her way.
What? That's impossible. Try it again. I'm sure there must be some mistake here.
The cashier tried to swipe it again as per her request.
No mistake, ma'am. Your card has been declined. Do you have another form of payment?
Feeling a mixture of frustration and humiliation, Linda quickly retreated and approached Joshua.
Joshua, can I have a sip of your drink?
Mom, you know you can buy your own, right? There's a stall right there.
Linda emptied Joshua's drink, not leaving an ounce of it for him.
I tried to, but my card allegedly declined.
Are you sure everything's alright with your finances, Mom? Maybe we should check it out later.
It's fine. I think the cashier is a new hire and is not familiar with handling cards like mine. I didn't want to waste a breath on him, so I left him.
Embarrassment and annoyance etched on Linda's face and caught the attention of a passerby who stared intently, trying to place where he had seen her before.
Wait a minute, you're the one from that video.
Linda's eyes widened, her face turning pale as the stranger's words hung in the air.
What video? I have no idea what you're talking about. If this is a prank, just go away. I'm not in the mood for it.
Oh, come on. The video of you changing clothes in the bathroom. It's been making the rounds online. Everyone's been talking about it. Wow, you still got it, Grandma.
Linda exchanged nervous glances with Joshua, obviously distressed.
Hey, stop that. That's not funny. My mother would never do anything like that. You must be mistaken.
Well, I'm not trying to cause trouble, and I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but she really looks like the person in the video. Here, take a look for yourself. Joshua reluctantly glanced at the screen, his brows furrowing as he saw the footage of a person changing clothes in what appeared to be a bathroom. Linda's eyes widened with the realization. It truly was her. Joshua's heart sank as he recognized it as well and immediately removed his eyes from the screen. However, determined to protect her from further embarrassment, he decided to act as if he hadn't noticed.
Yeah, sure. The resemblance is uncanny, but it's not her.
Are you sure? It really looks like her.
I'm positive. Trust me, it's just a coincidence. You should really be careful before you accuse a stranger of that.
Joshua glared at the stranger, sending a clear message to back off. The passerby muttered an apology and quickly went his own way. We hurried back to her Airbnb, trying to make sense of the unsettling revelation. Joshua's protective instincts kicked in and decided to investigate further. He meticulously searched the room, inspecting every nook and cranny, hoping to find answers to the disturbing revelation. As he reached the bathroom, Joshua's eyes caught a glimpse of something unusual. A small screw in the corner seemed out of place, and upon closer inspection, he noticed a tiny lens hidden within it. The entire bathroom was riddled with hidden cameras, cleverly disguised to capture every angle, every intimate moment, without their knowledge or consent.
There's a hidden camera there, and also there. Someone's been spying on you. I'm pretty sure they also used it to gather sensitive information like your car details. That's why I declined earlier.
Linda, already shaken by the recent turn of events, felt a surge of fear coursing through her veins.
Oh my! How would someone do this? My life is officially ruined. I don't deserve this at all. They should have spied on you two.
We didn't mind her nonsense and borderline offensive remarks anymore, thinking that it was just due to her panic. So, with a renewed sense of urgency, we quickly gathered her belongings, leaving behind the room that had become a haunting nightmare of the violation she had experienced. Linda's face turned pale with horror as she realized the predicament she had put herself in. She now had to endure the less than comfortable room she had initially booked. Linda couldn't help but cringe at the sight and feel of the supper space. She tried to walk into the outdated kitchenette, hoping to prepare a simple meal to soothe her frustration. However, that plan was immediately scrapped as she saw the lack of proper utensils and the limited selection of ingredients. She attempted to relax and read a book instead, but the dim lighting and the musty smell of the room only added to her growing frustration. She simply let out a sigh, knowing what the family outing had become for her, very far from one would have imagined. Feeling trapped and resentful, Linda had no choice but to retreat into the confines of the room, refusing to venture outside. She was too embarrassed to face the world, given the recent humiliating and creepy incident she now found herself in. Meanwhile, Joshua and I wasted no time preparing for our next adventure while we were still on our vacation.
You're still going out? Are you really going to leave me here in this dump? Your mother is all alone, Joshua. It feels like the whole world is against me.
Mom, we have planned and funded these activities in advance. It would be a waste if we didn't go. Besides, you can always come with us if you want to. We never intended to leave you behind.
No thanks. Go ahead and have fun without me, your own mother. I guess I'm just here to ruin everything.
Joshua was aware of the underlying intent behind Linda's words and chose not to engage in the passive aggressiveness and guilt tripping she deployed once again. Instead, he decided to play it off as if he didn't catch the subtext and pretended to misunderstand Linda's words.
Thank you, Mom. I knew you would understand. You too, okay? There are a lot of fun things you can do here. Surely you booked this for a reason.
So Linda stayed behind while Joshua and I ventured into the vibrant world outside. She watched enviously from the window and witnessed Joshua and my carefree spirit. I hope all that time alone in that subpar room gave her enough opportunity to reflect on how she traded genuine joy for a momentary sense of entitlement. Linda's days became a monotonous cycle of waiting and yearning for the vacation to end. She had nothing else to do but to argue with the bank's agent regarding the financial fraud on her card. The discomfort of the room coupled with her isolation took a toll on her spirit, while Joshua and my adventure had been filled with laughter. Even as one of the most confident individuals, karma had a way to humble my mother-in-law. To Linda, now you know that the grass isn't always greener on the other room.